So Dave, there's a contract extension that was signed yesterday that it kind of blew me away in Chicago, and I guess I shouldn't really be all that surprised. Chicago's done a lot of weird things in over the last couple of years here, especially when it comes to some signings, some trades, and money and whatever. Spencer Knight, the goaltender that they traded for, is part of the Seth Jones deal, getting Spencer Knight from Florida. Very highly regarded prospect once upon a time, was a first-round pick as a goaltender. Gets an extension with the Chicago Blackhawks. 3-year extension, $5.83 million to be the goaltender of the future for the Chicago Blackhawks. What was your reaction when you saw that number come out?
A little surprised, just because I didn't even realize he needed a new deal. So that was my initial reaction. But the 3 years was like one that was interesting, because he didn't spend a lot of time with the team between now and the end of the season. I know that he showed some good things.
15 starts. He had 15 starts with the Blackhawks, and they said, bam, we know everything we need to know. Signing him up to a near $6 million contract.
I mean, if you're Spencer Knight, you're loving it for two reasons. One, you get a nice pay bump. You're getting, as you said, I think it's 5.83 per year. And you get another kick of the can at it when you're 28.
Yeah, when the cap explodes at that point.
Like, this works out perfectly for Spencer Knight. For the Blackhawks, it's like, I get it. You're trying to build your team. You're trying to figure out where you want your future to be. I get all of that, but this is the type of deal that can, if not, like, there's now the pressure's on Knight to perform, and like, you look at the team, it's not very good. It's like, it doesn't align with what the Blackhawks, like, I know the Blackhawks eventually want to take a step forward, but
yeah,
this ain't a team that's ready to really do it yet. They got a lot of young people that just haven't come into their own yet.
Yeah, but I mean, it aligns with like a timeline, right? Like, goaltenders usually take a little bit to grow into themselves. Yep. And we've seen a lot of these goalies, they don't take off until they're mid to late 20s. So at 24 years old, over the next couple of years, you'll find out over the course of this contract if he is the real deal. Now, paying someone nearly $6 million just to find out if they're the real deal is questionable. I would say I think that's an absolute overpayment for someone who's played 95 games at the NHL level with a .904 save percentage, and he played 15 games for Chicago last year. He had a .312 goals against and an .896 save percentage in front of that putrid Chicago team. So they're really, I mean, I don't know. It's a very curious contract for me. Last year was his first full season at the NHL level. The first time that he never yo-yoed between the NHL and the American Hockey League. We know that he spent some, he had some time away from hockey a couple of seasons ago. So last year was his, first full season back in the NHL, I guess. But again, only played 38 games and didn't necessarily put up superb numbers. So where the Blackhawks got their valuation that he's worth 5.83 over the next 3 years is beyond me. I have no idea where they pulled those numbers out of, that he deserves that, I guess. They're taking a shot. They're absolutely taking a shot. And they're hoping and praying that it works out. Obviously, when he was drafted, there was very high praise and a possibility that he could be a top 10 goaltender in the NHL if he developed properly. I'm not sure if they're going to develop him properly in Chicago, but they're taking the chance that he turns into that. We'll see if it works. That's all I can say is we'll see if it works. He hasn't shown me anything that suggests that he's worth that type of money, but that he's on the road to being that guy. You put up a sub 900 save percentage in 15 games. I don't know what what that means for you, especially since the team didn't get better either. Like sometimes you're only as good as your defense, and the defense in Chicago's not that great. The whole team not that great. So very questionable decision for them to give him that type of money. It's a lot of money, and it muddies the water for the goaltending market, I'll say. And that's where this kind of connects back to Toronto. So for those who say, why are you guys talking about Spencer Knight and the Blackhawks? Well, because now this makes Toronto's decision a little bit more difficult when it comes to Anthony Stolarz and his impending contract discussions or ongoing contract discussions, because he needs a new deal. His expires at the end of the season. Sounds like both teams have been interested in negotiating a new deal and getting something in place. And I just wonder if this muddies the water a little bit. Why don't we come back and discuss how this could potentially impact the Maple Leafs and the Anthony Stolarz conversation? We'll do that next here in the Locked On Leafs podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. It's your team every day.
Today's edition of the Locked On Leafs podcast is also brought to you by Indeed. You just realized your business needed to hire somebody yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. When it comes to hiring, Indeed is all you need. Stop struggling to get your job post seen on other sites. Indeed sponsored jobs put your post at the top of the page and help you reach the right candidates fast. The last thing you want to be is in a bad spot where the pressure's on, and obviously every day without the right person can be a setback. That's exactly when Indeed sponsored jobs comes in handy. They make sure your post is seen by the right candidate right now. Now you can speed up your hiring process with the $75 sponsored job credit. Just go to Indeed.com/lockedon right now and support our show by saying you heard about Indeed on this podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Hiring Indeed is all you need.
The Locked On Leafs podcast continues. Mike DiStefano, Dave Morisuti with you as always. And we're heading in training camp. Just one more sleep, ladies and gentlemen. And the Maple Leafs get back to Toronto. And well, I'm sure they're all back in the city by now. But they'll be back. There'll be media sessions to react to. We'll get to hear from Austin Matthews. We'll get to hear, from Matthew Nyes, William Nylander, Tavares, the whole crew, Morgan Riley, who apparently is in, quote, the best shape of his life. You hear that a lot these days, right? Usually from the veterans. I feel like I'm in the best shape of my life. All right, well, we'll see. We'll see how it works for you. I've heard that before, and typically it turns out the exact same way. I'd imagine Anthony Stolarz is in pretty good shape coming off the summer and heading into a contract year, a platform season for Anthony Stolarz. And I asked you,